Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're grabbing the wheel and digging into something you probably use every single day but never really think about, your car's steering system.
Have you ever really stopped to think about the incredible engineering that's literally right at your fingertips every time you get in the car?
Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to take a journey from its super simple mechanical beginnings all the way to, believe it or not, intelligent robotics.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the basic geometry puzzle, then look at how we got power steering and all those safety features, and finally, we'll peek into the wild digital future of it all.
All right, first up. Now, you'd think the first big problem for early car makers was the engine, right? Well, not exactly. The real head-scratcher was a tricky puzzle based in pure geometry. So here's the core problem. When you turn a corner, the inside wheel has a much shorter path to travel than the outside wheel. Think about a little red wagon. When you turn that handle, both front wheels pivot at the same angle. This forces one of the tires to kind of scrub and slip along the pavement. It's just not smooth. For a car to turn perfectly, the wheels have to turn at different angles. And the solution is just brilliant. It was figured out way back in 1816 by a German carriage builder, and it's called Ackermann geometry. As you can see here, it's all about making that inside wheel turn at a sharper angle than the outside one. That way, both wheels can roll smoothly without fighting each other. It's pure geometric elegance.
And you know what? This exact principle is still the foundation of pretty much all modern steering systems. It's usually achieved in one of two main ways.
On one hand, you've got rack-and-pinion. It's simple, precise, and it's what you'll find in most cars today because it gives you that really connected, responsive feel. On the other hand, there's the recirculating ball system. This thing is a beast. It's super durable and strong, which is why you still find it in heavy-duty trucks and serious off-road vehicles that need to take a beating. Okay, so the geometry problem is solved, but of course, that created a whole new problem. As cars got bigger and heavier, turning that wheel, especially at slow speeds, man, it was a workout. The answer? Well, it was a total game changer that basically made driving possible for everyone, not just bodybuilders. I'm talking about power steering. The first versions, like the one Mercedes introduced back in '58, were hydraulic. They used a pump running off the engine to push fluid around and help you turn. And hey, it worked. But it was always running, always sipping power from the engine, even when you were driving in a straight line. That's why today, almost every new car has switched to an electric system.
And here's how it works. It's pretty clever. When you turn the wheel, a little sensor measures how much effort you're putting in. A computer takes that info, figures out how much help you need, and then tells an electric motor to give you a boost. The best part? It's smart. It gives you tons of help when you're trying to park. But then it eases up on the highway, so the car feels nice and stable. It's assistance on demand.
So let's recap. We've solved the geometry and we've solved the muscle problem. Now the steering wheel itself starts to evolve, and it goes from being just a simple tool for turning into the high-tech command center of the whole car. Just look at this evolution. For a long time, it was just a wheel. But then things start to happen fast. We get collapsible columns for safety in '67, then boom, the first airbag in '81, a huge deal. And by the late '90s, you've got buttons for your radio and your phone right on the wheel. The focus totally shifted from just steering to safety and convenience. That simple circle is now mission control. But that creates a new challenge, right? With all these buttons and functions, how do you keep your eyes on the road? Well, the answer is to start using a different sense. Your sense of touch. And this is where something called haptic feedback comes in. The big idea is, hey, your hands are already on the wheel, so why not use it to communicate directly with you? Haptics basically means using little motors to create tiny, precise vibrations in the steering wheel. It's the same kind of feeling you get when you tap an icon on your smartphone. So instead of a beep you might not hear or a light you might miss, the wheel can literally tap you on the hand to get your attention.
And this is really cool in practice. Imagine getting a gentle pulse on the left side of the wheel telling you your exit is coming up, or a little buzz to confirm you've changed the volume, or for safety, a vibration to warn you you're drifting out of your lane. The science shows this actually works. It reduces your cognitive load. That's a fancy way of saying your brain doesn't have to work as hard to figure out what's going on. It's intuitive, it's fast, and it lets you keep your eyes where they belong, on the road.
All right, we've come a long way. But now we're at the final, biggest leap. Get ready for this one. What if the steering wheel wasn't physically connected to the wheels at all? This isn't science fiction, it's called steer-by-wire. Instead of a metal steering column, you have sensors that read where you're turning the wheel and then send a digital signal to motors that actually turn the tires. Infiniti first put this in a production car way back in 2013, and it completely rewrites the rules of how a driver connects with a car.
So just look at the difference here. We're moving from a direct, physical connection, that big metal rod, to a purely electronic one. And you might be thinking, wait, do you lose the feel of the road? Nope, that feeling is actually simulated with haptic motors. But the real game changer here is what happens when you get rid of that physical column. The possibilities just explode. Think about it. Car designers are suddenly free. They don't have to build the entire driver's side of the car around a bulky steering column. You can customize the steering feel with a software update, and for safety, you can have backup electronic systems. What you really need to take away from this is that steer-by-wire isn't just a gimmick. It's the key that unlocks the future of car design, especially for autonomous vehicles, where the steering wheel might just disappear when you don't need it.
So there you have it. From a simple stick used to steer a car to a digital command center that talks to you through touch, the story of the steering wheel is really a story of nonstop innovation. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about for the future. If the steering wheel doesn't have to be a wheel anymore, what should it be?